Welcome back, guys, to a slightly less dirty and messy warehouse. We've been doing
Slightly.
a lot of work over the last week to try and get this place back to somewhat normal because it was insane last week if you saw last week's video. Today we're going to be sharing with you some sales which are way down, and we're going to talk a little bit about that and try and work out exactly what's going on there.
And then we're also going to share what we're doing about it.
Yeah, so we'll get into that and we'll talk about the controversial change that we've also made to our stores, which I'm not sure how you guys are going to feel about this, but it is super important for our business. So let's get into that picking.
As Brad just said, our sales have hit a bit of a wall, and yesterday we only made $505 on our main store, which is like a third of where we would really like to be.
So definitely not a day that we would like to repeat on eBay. We have been experiencing some down weeks over the last sort of 2 to 3 weeks. We have been doing a lot to try and keep things moving though. We have been running some sales on that store. We've been listing more items, and we've essentially been trying to accept as many offers as possible. And luckily for us, we have been utilizing other avenues to make some money. So we have the auction that we send stuff to sort of every couple of weeks. We sold $1,600 in there last week, which was great. So the payment came in to us this week. We also have a bit of wholesale that we've been doing, so that helped us out last week as well as some of the SKU bags that we've been offering out as well. So essentially last week we're only $400 down on our actual goal, but still $400 can compound pretty quickly. So we definitely want to make sure those sales pick up again soon.
So let's get picking, and then we'll talk about some changes that we've been making. Our first item is actually a set of books. Follow me. This is Raise the Flag, which I'm not familiar with. Book number 1 to 5 in R2S3. Is it this? It looks like a little YA series. So that sold for $34.95 with free shipping. Right back to where we just were for a MacPack Merino blend shirt that sold for $42 with free shipping. Looks like that color. These ones have the tiny numbers on them. Numbers are still helpful, but I really do like our bags with the bigger numbers on. That one there, the merino blends are pretty popular.
While Jazz is talking about reseller resources, we do have these back in stock. I will leave a link in the description below. We have sort of most of the numbers from 1 to 5,000 in stock. So if you need some SKU bags, this is where you go and grab them.
We're just gonna pick from these like 3 shelves today. This took a while to sell, but it's out the door. It's a vintage Iowa microphone, and that sold for $60 with free shipping.
It's so interesting, the wide range of things that you can actually sell on eBay.
Right? Another MacPack. This is a kids merino fleece. It sold for $35 free shipping. Oh!
Is the phone alive?
Okay, everyone pray. This is why I should be using my lanyard. It lives! Etsy phone case saved me. I just cannot be trusted to do regular things. Shout out again, kiddo, for my phone lanyard. Use this for picking, photography. Game changer.
Help you not throw your phone on the ground.
Moving right along, we sold a Beethoven CD, brand new and sealed, for $33. And it is down the bottom here. There's the handsome chap. Hey, if you watched our video last week, we picked a Cotton Village dress. And now we're going to pick another one. So, I don't know. This is like a very surprising brand to me that's actually doing okay. R3, oh, up the top. Oh. In bag 7631, another Cotton Village dress. Also from last week's video, this is the country road blouse that I got in Savers, sold obviously in under a week for $49.95 plus post. And it's this one with the gorgeous buttons. We love us some Levi's, and this little frayed Levi's skirt sold for $29.95 plus post. That one was pre-owned. We're going to shelf 4. Oh. Right at the front.
Isn't it crazy how often that happens, that they're like right at the front?
So often. Sometimes it's because someone's asked a question and I've like taken a measurement and put it back, but not this time. Next up is a little pair of Asics Gel Nimbus 14. They're hot pink. And they're in a tub with a lid on. Rare. There we go, they sold for $40 free shipping. Here's another CD, and it looks like it might have sold on sale because it sold for $26.97. Are we running a CD sale?
Yes, so we are running a bit of a CD sale, which is what I was talking about before. So we've had those CDs for quite a while now, and they're just kind of sitting there. We don't really list CDs on that store. So I'm running a 40% sale off of those CDs on anything over $35, knowing that that will mean that it's about $20, including postage. So I'm still going to make a little bit of money on them.
It is Rossini. There we go, new and sealed. And then the next one is another CD from that sale. So your sale is working. It's Emerson String Quartet, bright green, should be easy to spot. And that one sold for $29.97. Next up is a pair of Wrangler jeans, which is another one that we love. This is the women's Texas Mid. It sold for $39.95 plus post. Where am I going? R1S 1.4. All jeans. Luckily, I have a number. Bag 918. Jumping over to our media store, which is also selling CDs. This set of 4 Blood Duster CDs sold for $55.
Take that on some CDs.
Yeah, we paid 40 cents. Look, we moved all the boxes. So much room for activities.
We still have to get rid of this rest of this rack that's behind Jasmine
Alright,
here.
I'm blocking it with my body. In green 162, where are you? We've condensed so many of them together now that they all have like 4 different numbers on the front.
162's over here.
Thank you. It's a handful of Batman Blu-rays that sold for $25. Someone is about to have a Batman marathon. So this is it for the day, everything we're shipping out, and for the size of our store, this is terrible. But like we said, we have been making some changes.
All right, while I do some of this postage, I'm going to talk about some of the changes we've just made to our store, because essentially what we have done is actually split out a lot of our stock, and it's going to be a little bit controversial. So essentially what we have done is we have actually moved our liquidation stock that we've started using from one of our partners across to our Trash to Travel store, which means that the Trash to Travel stuff has actually been moved to our main store, which I know is probably going to create a little bit of controversy because we created that store purely for a Trash to Travel purpose, because we wanted to see what we could build in a new store. But the reality is this is the best situation for our store going forward. We noticed that with some of the liquidation stuff that we were doing, that it was essentially slowing down our main store because that stuff is a little bit of a slower sell-through rate. So we've actually created a dedicated store for that type of stock. And the reason we really decided to do that was because conversion is everything. And having kind of like all those new items go up in that store, it's kind of detracting from those handpicked items that we sell on a regular basis. And I think our customer was getting a little bit confused, which I think has maybe contributed to the change in sales on that store. I also think the cost of living and also a couple changes on eBay has slowed things down a little bit. So hopefully by us moving all these items across to this new store, essentially that'll solve both those problems. Not only that, but we have turned the Trash to Travel store into an outlet store, kind of like what you see on like Catch or something like that, but obviously at a much smaller scale. And we've actually called it Vendor Outlet to try and give it some sort of branding so that we can drag people across to that new store that has been updated from Trash to Travel to Vendor Outlet. The other thing that I did with that Vendor Outlet store is I actually made it a store rather than just a private account. And with that, I was able to set up a whole bunch of business policies. I'm able to send out coupons, create sales, and essentially make that a whole lot more streamlined than it was on the main store. So we definitely went back and forth on this because we definitely want to keep Trash to Travel going, and we didn't really want to make these changes because I know that that's not what we said this was going to be. But essentially our business comes first in all of these decisions, and the right thing for our business was to make these changes so that we can continue to have that really good standing on eBay with all of our stores. So what we are actually going to do with the Trash to Travel is we have moved all that stuff over to the new store, and I know that's not what we said at the start, but like I said, the business is the most important thing. So I've actually put in our SKU T2T, which will delineate any items that sell in the main store for Trash to Travel so that we can still track it on the scratch map. Now, one of the biggest things that was actually stopping us from doing this probably a couple months ago is I didn't want to have to copy and paste every item across and sell similar to the new store. And then I actually came across a product called LinkFrog. This is not sponsored by them. I simply did a quick Google search and found them. And I've found that LinkFrog has been fantastic because what you can actually do with a subscription is you can link up to 3 stores on there, and you can actually just end items from one store, copy them all, and then send them live on your other store, which has been fantastic. I did 200 listings the other day in literally like 3 minutes, which was fantastic. And I went across and checked and there was no errors. So I definitely recommend, if you're going to kind of follow this route of putting stuff in different stores and managing them, the LinkFrog is definitely a good place to start. I found it super easy to use and the price was pretty cheap. And after I've done it, I'm probably going to cancel that subscription because I don't need it for anything else, but there is a whole bunch of functionality on there as well. The other reason that we turned that Trash to Travel store into an actual store rather than just a private seller is now I can link all of my accounts to our Ready to Ship program, which means whenever we get a sale, it pulls straight into that software and I can manage it all from that one screen. What we were having to do before was do the 2 main stores on that program, then jump across to My Post Business and grab the data in from the Trash to Travel store and use that to import our information. So now with all 3 stores as stores, we can use that program and it's going to be seamless.
It was a pretty big conversation to decide to divide the stores out this way because we've loved our little Trash to Travel store, watching it like grow and cultivate from absolutely zero. But logic does get in the way of a good time, and it wouldn't have made sense to make a brand new store again to put this liquidation stock onto. So we've gone ahead, we've done it and used the tools that we already had available to make the best decision for our business. And we are still going to track along with our Trash to Travel finds.
So I hope this video has shown you that it's not all rainbows on eBay. Sometimes you do have these ups and downs, even at large scale like we are. Obviously, we're not sitting on our hands waiting for sales. We are doing a lot of things to try and bring those sales back. And hopefully part of this change will help with that long term as well. I don't expect it to work overnight and make huge sales tomorrow, but I think long term, this is the right call. So thanks for being here today, and we'll see you next time on 2 Aussie Thrifters. Bye for now.